Welcome to my channel. My name is Victoria and I live in the Netherlands. I'm married to a Dutchman, but originally I'm from one of the Eastern European countries. When I married a Dutchman, I thought that the hardest part would be the language, the paperwork, and moving to a different country. But after years living here in the Netherlands, I realized that the biggest challenge wasn't the new country at all. It was a completely different way of looking at life. And one day I understood one simple truth. The Dutch don't live better or worse than we do. They simply live very differently. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Not about stereotypes, not about the tourist version of the Netherlands, but about what happens behind the doors of an ordinary Dutch home. Nobody tries to change anyone. At the beginning of our relationship, I found it strange that my husband almost never tells other people how they should live. He doesn't gossip about the neighbors, he doesn't criticize his friends, he doesn't hand out unsolicited advice. If someone is happy and not bothering anyone else, then everything is fine. Many of us are used to asking, why does she dress like this? Why is she raising her child that way? Why do they live like this? In the Netherlands, you are more likely to hear, that's their choice. At first, I thought people simply didn't care. Later, I realized the difference. They do care. They just genuinely respect other people's boundaries. And over time, I noticed how much less energy is wasted worrying about other people's lives. Money is not a measure of success. This was one of my biggest cultural shocks. Yes, Dutch people like money. Yes, they know how to manage it. But they have very little interest in showing off their wealth. When I first arrived, I expected to see expensive cars, designer brands, and a constant desire to display status. Instead, I found the exact opposite. A person may have a great income, own a house, and have substantial savings and still ride a simple bicycle, wear an old jacket, and carry a perfectly ordinary phone, not iPhones of the last model. In the Netherlands, financial stability matters far more than looking successful. One day my husband said something I've never forgotten. There's no point in looking rich, it's better to feel secure. That sentence captures so much of the Dutch mentality. Children are treated as complete human beings here. This may have surprised me more than anything else. I often noticed the way adults speak to children, not from above, not in commanding tone, but almost as equals. Children are asked for their opinions, things are explained to them, compromises are made. Of course, parents are still parents. But children rarely grow up surrounded by endless restrictions and commands. What impressed me the most was how seriously children's feelings are taken. If a child is tired, it matters. If they are sad, it matters a lot. If they're afraid of something, that matters too. Gradually, I began to understand why so many Dutch children seem to be so confident. They grow up feeling heard. Family loves from a distance. When I first met my husband's family, I was surprised by how independent everybody was. They love each other, of course, they support each other, but no one lives someone else's life. Parents don't call 10 times a day. They don't demand constant updates. They don't ask, why didn't you come? Why didn't you call me? Why did you do it that way? Here, it's perfectly normal for adult children to have their own lives. even if they live nearby. At first, I missed that closeness. The relationships seemed colder for me, but eventually I saw the other side of it. Fewer conflicts, fewer hurt feelings, fewer expectations. Love here is often expressed not through control, but through respect. Planning here is a national sport. There is one thing that still makes me laugh sometimes: the calendar. The Dutch plan everything, absolutely everything. If you want to meet a friend tomorrow, you may very well hear, "How about 3 weeks from now?" And they are completely serious, it's not a joke. At first, this drove me just crazy. I miss spontaneity. I wanted to be able to call someone from my friends and make plans on the spot. But over time, I started seeing the advantages. People value each other's time. And if a meeting is written in the calendar, it will actually happen. Life doesn't revolve around work. This was another eye-opening discovery for me. Of course, Dutch people work, but they rarely make work the center of their identity. When the workday ends, many people genuinely stop working. No endless phone calls, no late messages, no constant pressure to prove how successful they are. I think that's one reason so much people here find time for family, sports, travel, and just simply living. They work to live, they don't live to work. Happiness looks surprisingly boring here. This is what I realized after several years. I used to think happiness had to look exciting. Big events, big achievements, big emotions, but Dutch life taught me something different. Happiness can look like an evening bike ride, a cup of tea in the garden, a family dinner, rain tapping against the window, an ordinary Sunday. No dramatic moments, no showing off, no need to prove anything to anyone. So after marrying a Dutchman, I learned one important thing. The real differences between people don't begin with language. They don't begin with a passport. And they don't even begin with culture. They begin with the way a person sees life. The Dutch taught me things nobody had ever taught me before. That it's okay not to rush, not to compete, not to live for appearances, not to control everyone around you, and not to spend your life trying to meet other people's expectations. I never became Dutch, even I have a Dutch passport, and there are still many things that surprise me. But after years of living here, I've learned to appreciate the calmness I once considered boring. And perhaps that calmness is where the Dutch secret to happiness has been hiding all along. If you like my video, please like my video, send me a comment. I will be happy to answer your comments. Subscribe to my channel because there will be still, I hope, a lot of other interesting videos with my own experiences living in the Netherlands as a foreigner. And see you soon. Bye bye.